Thanks very much, Jerry. Yeah, we are back and ready to rock and roll in game number 4. Draft is underway, so let's drop you into the draft right away.
Newbies turn to ban.
There we go. It's all good. It's all good. We're all fine. And we have bans already. Interestingly, DC have banned the Naga.
10 seconds remaining.
Are you confused, Purge?
Are these sides right?
I wonder if the overlay's wrong. I'm unsure. It feels weird for newbie to ban Rubik to me, just because it's felt a little ineffective, but it's entirely possible that it's been.
It is arguably one of the most comfortable picks for DC.
These sides are definitely swap.
Are these?
Newbies turn
Are they though?
pick.
It's the mind games ban.
Is it?
We won't know until they get in game.
I guess we assume that they're right for now. So Underlord, as it looks, picked up by DC. Following with the Luna. Nasty and Sand King straight away in return from Newbie.
I'm going to open Dota 2 and double check.
DC's turn to ban.
Okay. So, we did.
It is the wrong way around.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we can see that on the main screen. Yeah, so we've got that fixed for you guys here in the crowd. Hopefully we'll be able to get that for you as well at home. So indeed,
so DC are on Dire.
Yeah.
I've had that
5
confirmed.
seconds remaining.
Makes a lot of sense. Newbie grabbing the same 2 heroes that were really effective with them in the last game. Shadow Demon gets through. Sox's Shadow Demon's fantastic. The question is what illusion hero will we pair it with? Jug is usually the standard one, just because he's your backup if Luna's gone.
I think they picked it because they knew that Newbie would open with the Luna again. Because the Juggernaut has not had like the best of win rates. He seemed to be countered pretty decently. And in the previous drafts, they actually banned it out in the first phase. But Midget's probably like, why do we ban it? It's not like they're going to take it, especially if they have Underlord left in the point, especially the results of last game. So I think they kind of use it to deal with the Luna and deal with the team fight.
And the other cool part is DC hasn't fully revealed their lanes yet. This could be 2 supports, could be offlane Sand King. And both are pretty amp focused. Magic damage from Sand King, Shadow Demon will have Soul Catcher. Those are very capable at killing Underlord. And definitely capable of pressuring Luna in lane 2 if they want to aggro. And put Sand King in a 1v1 versus Overlord. I feel like that's pretty good for SK.
Yeah, we saw that. I thought it was good for SK too, but looking at the matchup, it seemed like Underlord was ahead of CS by like 30-40%.
He'll definitely accelerate way past after Sand King starts leaving lanes, but it's a pretty safe opening.
We do certainly like to seem to pick up either the OD or the Juggernaut when they do play against teams that have selected Luna.
I think Quap's also pretty good. The heavy magic burst just poses up a lot of problems for the Luna, and it's just really quick too. It's really hard to react to.
Turn to ban.
So take out the Omni Knight. Is there any cheese left for DC?
This is looking heavily like an Ursa game for DC, I think. Good against Underlord, good against Luna. He's got good backup too with Shadow Demon Sand King.
10 seconds
I feel like that's so far an obvious pick. They definitely still need to combo something with Shadow Demon though. Maybe Lifestealer, maybe Jugs, maybe the obvious one. But he's not quite the best for team fights. It's like he can survive, he can just spin when the Eclipse comes out, but you know, he's got to worry about his teammates too.
A lot of times with this Luna Underlord Newbie, they like to stick with the Witch Doctor pick. And still around at the ready. Ogre, of course, another one of their favorites that has yet to be touched in the draft so far.
Why is the Spirit ban?
10 seconds remaining.
Considering the 2 things you've just pointed out. And they have played well Witch Doctor as well.
Remaining.
Oh, they needed a hero for Kaka, right? Sand King's already been taken off. Disruptor, Rubik.
Mirana's gone.
Yeah, Mirana's gone. Yeah. Now Earth Spirit. They like that really heavy team fighting support, the heavy magic damage that was provided by that position. So, as OD mentioned, Witch Doctor will be the support of choice.
Nothing too surprising there at all.
No, third game in a row.
Yeah.
No Juggernaut. Kevin, are you happy?
Don't speak too early, Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah, here it comes.
Any second.
Here it comes.
Any second.
10 seconds
remaining. That's fine. Still a decent Jug game. Just got to get more Omni Slashes, successful ones.
I feel like Lifestealer might be a little bit better though than Jug. I feel like the
Reserve
burst
time.
is much more reliable versus someone like Underlord. I don't know. How do you think it would have fared last game if they had a Lifestealer instead of Jug? I guess it's hard to say.
I mean, the Jug would have been better if he just got a couple more kills, honestly. It would have made a big difference.
Yeah.
And they needed a little more impact out of their mid lane in the team fights. So I think it was more an issue of the OD having a bit of a rough game than it was of the Jug. I think Jug will work completely fine if they want to go for that.
The thing is about Jug, it's really hard to get solo kills because NEWBIE, like, what percent of the game are they just all 5? Where I think Omni Slash is much weaker from that 5-on-5 as opposed to like 3-on-2,
Okay.
2-on-2.
Like the slot. So
Well, it's not like we haven't seen this before.
it's a support pick really popularized, especially at Boston by Complexity, but DC's been drafting a lot lately as Misery plays it. Got Shadow Demon Disruption into Leshrax's setup stun. Good damage output as well.
10 seconds remaining.
Very good damage output out of Lesh. They're a bit weak to physical
5
damage right now.
seconds
I feel
remaining.
like DC's heroes, they're going to need some frontliners maybe, but great disables to open up.
Reserve time.
So I think this may be why. Ooh, okay.
DC's
Well,
turn to
we saw
pick.
this pairing, the Wisp Underlord earlier on in the tournament, by their opponents, and it was very useful.
They're going to be all over the place.
Well,
Okay.
Immediately
Newbies
to help
turn to
kind of keep
ban.
control of that global presence and hunt them down.
It does limit their team fight a little bit, though. Bounty definitely has some issues with that, but he's pretty good at using both Witch Doctor and IO, actually. Witch Doctor's stun against a single target, very weak, 1 second. So Bounty can definitely
10
pressure these guys.
seconds remaining.
Does this mean Core Lesh?
I was going to say, with that
5
pickup,
seconds
Hmm.
remaining.
I mean, they do normally put indeed the Lesh to support, but
I actually kind of like it a lot. As long as
Reserve
there
time.
isn't a Slardar in the enemy team, I think Lesh could definitely work here as a core. Just because Underlord obviously resisting magic damage, or resisting physical damage output. Lesh doesn't care.
I think we'll get the answer with the ban.
DC's turn to
I mean,
ban.
is there no way it could be the core band? I know people kind of joke about it being
Core who?
viable in
Core
this
bounty?
match. Could
Oh yeah,
they?
we were joking about it. 1 second Janata. It's great.
That's the worst thing I've heard.
It's only at level 25 that you
I
get
was
it.
on a panel side.
guys,
Beat him up.
guys, give it up. Purge just shut you down, okay?
There's no way.
5
Okay.
seconds
Nope, nope,
remaining.
and nope.
No, would not be good. Oh, they're smiling about something.
Oh yeah.
What are they so
They're
Oh
excited.
yeah.
Oh,
They just figured something out.
oh, it couldn't be, could it?
Spirit Breaker?
No, they're not thinking of. No, no. I mean, they could. Could they think about the Huskar newbie?
Ooh.
There's a lot of magic damage, physical.
Ooh.
I like that idea.
Okay, well, this ban is very important
Oh.
right now for DC.
Is that what they're having a giggle about?
It would be good against Lesh. It's actually quite good.
Because they may have figured out Lesh is the core as well. We'll know, surely, after this ban.
I like the Huskar a lot.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic here.
I don't think anyone really picks him this patch though. How are his talents?
Uh,
I don't remember at all.
his level 25 is pretty cool. Gives you like 400 range on your ult. Just fly around the fight. You got movement speed, damage, lifesteal. Yeah, it's good values, but pretty average boring stuff.
It's good enough.
It would certainly combo with the whole survivability thing out of the IO, as well as Witch
Oh, they're
Doctor.
still smiling.
They are.
DC's turn to pick.
Okay.
Ah,
Okay, so DC go for the
Newbies
Slark.
turn to
okay,
pick.
so
Mid Lesh.
Yeah.
so this is going to be the pairing. What is going to be the matchup for the mid lane here?
Are we going to get a surprise from NEWBIE? We haven't had that many from them throughout the tournament. They've been pretty steady all the way through. I could say the Wisp is a
10
little bit of a
seconds
surprise.
remaining.
Not a major surprise, but a little one.
They have got some very confident
they-
smiles.
Are they
5
about to throw us a
seconds remaining.
complete crazy hero?
They could still pick like OD or something like that.
Should do.
Reserve time.
Banish whoever gets stunned or disrupted.
And instead, they're going to pull out the DK.
It's very 5-man.
Okay, well, a very intriguing draft indeed. Is this the end of the road for DC? Are NEWBIE about to wrap things up, or are we going all square? We're going to find out over the course of the next game. Game 4 is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. Let's head back to your commentators, Capitalist and Toby1.
Will this be it? That is a very good question. Digital Chaos going with a unique and interesting draft, I use inverted commas, in the air, up against NEWBIE's strength, stability, and tried, true, and tested draft. Capitalist. Does DC have it? It's different. It's a Really, and I love the analysts if
10
they could predict this,
seconds remaining.
two-position Leshrac.
I don't think DC.
5 seconds remaining.
It does look rough.
I have an open mind because 7.0 is a new patch, and honestly, I don't know Dota like these guys, so I'm just along for the ride at this point, Toby. They picked up I feel it's
Prepare for battle.
We've seen how the Underlord goes with NEWBIE. We also know NEWBIE's playstyle. They will be very much grouped up. I feel like the Bounty Hunter does not give you any team fight potential. He'll give you a lot of information early, and maybe they're going to try and win lanes off of that information and off the roaming of the Bounty Hunter. But when it comes down to the mid game where NEWBIE start grouping up,
It's Disco Pony.
Jesus. When it comes to the mid game where NEWBIE start grouping up and they're pushing down these towers, Bounty Hunter is not going to offer you anything in response to that.
No, there's a reason why
Try to be serious about your analysis of the game. Come on. You're messing with my monologue here.
He's even all chatting and NEWBIE have no idea what he's on about. He may be really sad though if NEWBIE actually achieve what I think they're trying to do. You can Disco
30
Pony
seconds
all
to
the
battle.
hell you want to, but if you actually end up having your head mounted on a wall by NEWBIE, you're not going to be so happy. There's smoke maneuvering up. With the Observer Ward, you'll see Moon moving down. Now, Moon has no idea. Okay, now we caught a glimpse of U9. They realized that NEWBIE were aggressively pushed up there.
Man, I really wanted Wee to die just to stop that.
Wow!
Anyway.
Such
The
a
battle
non-biased
Talk about the
content presented by Cap.
Okay, so the Bounty Hunter is not going to be able to provide you a whole lot of team fight power, right? Like, when NEWBIE are grouped up, Bounty Hunter's not going to provide much. And Slark is also one of those heroes that I feel like doesn't really fit this patch right now because of the fact that by the time he picks up his Shadow Blade, that's usually about the time that the enemy team is planning on grouping up a lot more and pressuring these objectives. So I feel like both of those heroes are going to have a tough time being able to actually give DC the team fight they needed. That being said, I really like the Leshrac pickup, even if it turned out to be a 2 position, which I didn't expect at all. I thought they needed this sort of overwhelming damage to be able to break through NEWBIE's sustain, but it's going to be even harder this time around. They don't have just Underlord and Witch Doctor, they have the Wisp too.
Yep. I like this quick maneuver coming in from that IO. Kaka up to the top lane, realizing the gank is going to happen at some point, so he heads forward, works with the Underlord to try and find interesting use of smoke. That's going to be a big waste. They wanted that for the next rotation.
That was
Potentially.
That was the distraction smoke.
Yeah, I put in your right bottom lane. Faith really low. Moon actually able to find that killer with the range creep that got it. That should never have happened.
Moon Meander. Making things happen in a 1v2 off the SK. He is trying to abuse this lane real hard, and with that early pickup, as long as he doesn't see the kill, nice setup going into the Caustic finale.
And with that paralyzing cast bounces straight back down again. Moon so low, U9, they don't see him. Moon into the tree lines and far away. The second tree to the right and straight on till morning.
Goddamn, Moon is just styling on this bottom lane. I'm loving what he's doing here. He's abusing the fact that Sand King's Caustic finale is so strong against the Luna because she's basically a melee hero. So they're just left with this Witch Doctor to try and bully Moon Meander back, but he seems to have found the opening to punish that support too. He's going to do it again. He's going to go for Faith here. He might actually be able to get this kill. The Witch is going to be able to come in with the tether.
Yeah, now paralyzing cast. Something for it to bounce over to, but Moon, he is so low on life, and with the aura, another sandstorm, they trigger the dust, the vision's there, and also the slope that
Got
comes
your
along
bounty,
with
Moon.
it, but he steals the bounty. There isn't enough mana run away, so the loser beam, one more attack from Faith will do the job, and Moon will finally be put down.
Meanwhile, at top lane, KT's being gone on. He's big and he's tanky, so the pounce really doesn't hold him well enough.
You still got disruption though. You got disruption and catcher.
Block him in.
Weasley gets far enough from the creep wave that the catcher can connect. KP,
God, it's gonna be close.
No! He's away! Resolution didn't have the damage output!
His pounce was coming up too. It was going to be that extra nuke that could have actually finished off that tanky offlaner, but the Underlord escapes once again. 1-1 now.
Oh, big
Misty.
timing, but you also look towards the mid lane in a second.
Yeah.
There is a bottle that requires ferrying, and Misery is, well, he's not patiently waiting. He wants to keep moving over, and in fact, that just out pushes the courier back just an inch further.
I don't think Misery.
And that's the reason why it's now flying and taking it into the mid.
Yeah.
Unless Misery hits the timing again, but he's just a second too late.
Yeah, he doesn't have Chinata, so on the way back, you really need that extra physical damage to kill a flying courier. This is rough. I don't think Misery's gotten a whole lot accomplished here. I've been watching the mid lane. Maybe he's been... No, but SC's 15-4, so his CS looks very good.
Yeah. They've harassed up a little bit, but it hasn't been much more than that. SC's been quite comfortable in this lane up against Weeha, and every rotation that does happen, like the first one came out, it's like, that was nice. What'd you really get from it? SC backed up to the tower, and you destroyed SC's observer wall. That's what they were looking for. Eventually, you probably knew with that forward positioning it was going to be lost anyway, just because it's a standard sentry position.
Okay, so Misery's going to be using this bounty hunter because...
bottom lane, they got... No, Moon's backing out.
Because KP, as the Underlord, is going to be using neutral so often, it looks like Misery's planning on soaking a lot of this experience away from the Underlord.
More stolen bounties.
On the way back.
Hey, he's got Janata this time around. This courier doesn't actually have a speed burst, so Misery can jump down. He needs a second hit. He doesn't have movement speed. He needed to hit it on the first time coming in and then on the way out over his head.
This Leshrac, I thought maybe, I didn't expect a 2-position Leshrac, but if it did get picked up, would you actually go Lightning Storm? Weeha says no. You're still going to go for the same build that you're going to see out of these support Leshracs, higher levels in Split Earth and Diabolic Edict first.
Well, you said before, like, you want to have that big damage, the one that's able to counter the Pit Lord or Underlord when he goes into the fights.
Yeah, that's true, and it's also going to be able to provide you some serious early pushing power that maybe DC can get, you know, a slight net worth lead using that.
That observer ward is still on the hillside. Moon's going to hide inside the sandstorm. Misery comes in, but they dust him up, so the reveal is there. Disruption onto U9, still tethered to Kaka while he was inside the disruption. And just a quick back out. Moon, careful on his life, gets hit by a loser beam. Burrow strikes a little bit further away to safety, and now they'll trigger the shrine. So DC willingly taking damage, knowing they got that regeneration.
Moonmeander's in such a great position. He has Tranquil Boots, Windlace already. He can actually pick up an infused raindrop. They're going to be able to jump on his support Faith. I don't think he stands a chance here.
Maybe with Misery in the neighborhood, the tether comes over and actually goes with Faith, not U9. U9 still has a loser beam. There's extra TPs coming in from DC. Nothing yet from NEWBIE, but that's because the rotation's rotating in. But maybe too late. U9's already down. Dragon Knight is on his way. So DC will have to commit pretty heavily for the DK to punish him. And maybe Weeha will do that. Dragon form up to Split Earth. Already lands from Weeha, but he's so deep under the tower with the freeze fire. The damage is enough, and Moon also copying the edge of that freeze fire. Drops low, but not dead.
Great read there by, I can't believe SC did that. Most of the time when you see the Leshrac rotating out of that lane, most other Dragon Knights would use that opportunity to pressure the mid tower, but he seemed to have this read that, like, okay, they're gonna be able to go for such an important fight that my rotation is better to go bottom lane rather than try and take the mid tier 1, and it worked. They got the Leshrac kill, making that whole entire exchange probably worth it for NEWBIE.
Especially when they take this tier 1 tower with the rest of the Dragon form. SC got fresh bottles by Kaka TPing back into the bottom lane too. So the regeneration was quite simple, not even having to use something like the Shrine. So DC, this tier 1 tower with the illusion. Oh, he actually got it!
Sucks. This guy's so good.
I will not debate it after watching that. Beautiful deny. He didn't even have to use the illusions. He came in with his core hero and found it.
Dragon Knight comes right back to mid lane before Weeha can get any damage on that tier 1.
But how do you kill it? Like, he's got strength threads already up, so you start this fight, you turn on the Edict. Misery already threw everything he had. So SC can just commit the bottle charges and get back up.
This Leshrac, I don't know. It's gonna be tough. Like, I like the idea. This core Leshrac against the Underlord, right? You just ignore the passive entirely. You're still a carry that's going to be able to scale pretty well. There's nothing saying that these nuking mid laners that we used to see in the past can't see a comeback here in this kind of patch. But he is still going to have to deal with the heavy sustain both the Witch Doctor as well as the Wisp. And later on to the game, we're not going to have just a mech on KP. They'll probably be able to pick up a pipe for the team as well.
And that's going to be really difficult for DC to deal with.
Yeah, so I think DC, like, they needed to be able to establish, like, good control of the lanes. I don't think they've won the laning phase by any means, so this transition period in that 10-15 minute marker, I think they have to do something big to be able to start opening up the Leshrac to snowball a bit.
Well, something big is being able to repel NEWBIE when they group up with that Underlord. That's going to be the big thing. Maybe with a little bit of a catch, KP wanting to find the SD. It ain't gonna happen, not with the disruption. So they all just harass each other as the bottom lane. Faith getting Burrow Strike, allowing Moon a little bit more space to get away. He'll dodge. Actually, no, he doesn't dodge the paralyzing cast. They got the vision up. The dust is already on him. Burrow Strike up in 1 second time. So Moon will have the distance to get away if things get a little bit hairy, but he will be fine.
One of the big advantages of the Bounty Hunter, all this aggressive vision that's going down. But NEWBIE did manage to scout this ward.
SC is not wanting to let Weeyar have free edict damage onto the tier 1 tower.
Yeah, he's just kind of stationed up, making sure that, because I think that the group up of NEWBIE is going to happen more around the 20-minute marker. You want to be able to have that mech burst on the Underlord, some levels on the Dragon Knight, and Luna needs a decent amount of progression in farm before you start 5-manning, right? So I think that like the 15-minute marker is where DC can possibly exploit NEWBIE the most.
Oh, okay. He's been waiting in the Nimbus room for a while. He's able to get the stun. Support's coming in for Resolution Disruption. Starts off with the Shadow with the counter. Resolution counters in. He gets the leash over on SD with a tether on. SD's doing more damage to Resolution. The monster hit from Moon. The extra stun from the Rune. And it's SD staying alive. How does he do it? Bounty Hunter will be the one to die. Everybody from NEWBIE came. The whole kit and caboodle, and now they're going to go in even deeper to the tier 1 tower with the fire. This is turning into a disaster. It was DC who were meant to have the sweet spot, but NEWBIE smack him back down.
I mean, Digital Chaos took the Wisp challenge. You know, the Wisp got the tether out on a Dragon Knight, and they're like, doesn't matter, we'll have enough damage to burst him down. But NEWBIE, rapid on the rotations, they realized, so as soon as the heroes started going on Dragon Knight, hey, we need everybody here. And the combination, the Witch Doctor and Wisp was enough to keep the Dragon Knight alive. And even if that didn't happen, even if SC died, I think NEWBIE still take the better of that engagement by pushing forward with the rest of their heroes.
And now they're going to progress even harder. You're getting closer and closer towards that mech. You've actually got the Dominator running around on the Courier for U9 is turning itself up. This is a big danger zone for Digital Chaos. They're actually holding a half-decent lead leading into that fight around 1,400 in the net worth, and they had the experience advantage too. But this is where the swing kicks in for NEWBIE. And they're already looking to pressure it. Up to the tier 1 tower on top lane, and Digital Chaos look like they don't look in any good shape to try and take this fight. You still don't have resolution with that Shadow Blade yet.
Yeah, so they're doing like a 3-man group up while Luna still continues to farm. Luna's not going to be the best hero though to push back Weehawk from this mid-tier 1. You can see how fast it's dropping to this level 4.
They're jumping forward. There goes your disruption already. Just more safety at bottom lane where the kill is happening. Again, the Bounty Hunter really close under the tower. That's a level 4, just shy of 5 Bounty Hunter.
Nice Dark Rift play. Saves a little bit of grief. They still get the mid-tier 1 tower, pretty important. Weehaw may be caught by U9 with the jump forward here on the
He doesn't have flips with the double stun. You can go straight to the epicenter. This will be huge amounts of damage. U9 will fall. And DDC finally catch themselves a break. The tower, a kill. They got Kaka as well as U9.
Man, that was really good by Moonmeander. He takes that Dark Rift play at bottom lane and he pushes forward through the dire jungle and wraps on mid like that to be able to find this beautiful opportunity. That 3-man up at the top lane from NEWBIE, they thought they were going to be able to do that without getting punished, but DC do manage to just have enough power, it seems, in the tank to be able to get the better of the exchange. Mid-tier 1, again, I always prefer to be able to keep my mid towers alive as long as possible, and so I think that is advantageous for DC, and obviously getting that 2-man Burrow Strike into the kill on the Luna is huge.
Yeah, that's massive for them, because also the space creator for Resolution finishes up his treads, got his Shadow Blade up and running too, so now Resolution, the top net worth on the field, becomes a hunter. And with Misery just hitting level 6, now the Bounty Hunter will also start playing catch-up.
NEWBIE, they're grouping up pretty early, but they may be falling into the trap. Moonmeander's going to have his Blink Dagger, so they're thinking, the Slark has his Shadow Blade. We need to group up more, make sure that, you know, this combination of Bounty Hunter and Slark can't actually find these pigs. But they may be stumbling into a nasty team fight with this early Blink.
Yeah, thanks to DC backing out, they will actually have a favorable position for the fight. Moon was, while having that Blink Dagger is great, he wasn't ready to engage. He has to TP out to the shrine if he's going to come forward. And looks like NEWBIE just going to have to force the issue. But how do you do this? You've still got Resolution farming up on the top lane. His TP's on cooldown for 13 more seconds. So it's more of a tower trade-off at this point with a 4-man smoke move from DC, maybe to catch out NEWBIE when they move to the top lane.
Yeah, I think they may be expecting either relocate play or Dark Rift play up to top lane, and they're going to try and set up preemptively this position, because I don't think they feel comfortable being able to contest bottom without like that bottom tier 1, because they just weren't there in time to set up, right? So instead, they're just like, okay, we're gonna get this up.
They can take the tier 2. They put the fortification out from Radiant's side.
Yeah, it's unfortunately because NEWBIE just kept going. Now it's gonna be DC forced to go for. Oh, it's the rift.
It's the rift. It's coming smack.
Here
Here
comes
comes
the
epicenter.
Oh,
Oh, oh wait,
Nice.
so the epicenter is wasted, and now NEWBIE are going through the bottom. They're attacking into the tier 3 tower. KP just nine-gave them. With no epicenter, DC may not have the damage at all.
Oh, NEWBIE just got half the health of the tier 3 tower is gone because of that. They should be able to make a clean retreat.
Resolution down. He sees the courier. He'll snipe it up quickly. This will reveal his position, but he still has that Shadow Dance available. So the toss out from Misery. They find, okay, tethered down from Kaka. He's got 12 one charges, but he's got nothing else to jump to. So the IO will be a casualty.
Yeah, not
Chaos clean up the mid, the bottom.
Not the clean retreat that I was hoping for, but still losing the Wisp, not that big of a deal. He's pretty far down there in the net worth chart, and he isn't even level 6 yet. He's just a sliver of experience. He's been grouped up with his team so much that he's actually quite under-leveled.
Rez is going to finally bring down that tier 1 tower in bottom lane with no backdoor regeneration. It's simple enough for a Slark, who's already got his level of farm to chip it out. A lot of confidence for KP, just stand in the mid lane as Bounty on attract him. Didn't even flinch, just kept farming.
Unmeander gets a good amount of damage on U9, but he needed someone
They found
else.
SC. They actually found SC. Resolution's gonna get the leash off with a quick drag up. They've got the catch, and SC is just too much damage. Disruption will be there. Burst was already on it, but where's the help? You've got Kaka. Tether in, but it wasn't enough life. Now it's up to KP to create a little bit more space underneath that tier 2 tower. They will force DC away.
Once again, we see this Leshrac being really the determining factor. Very few heroes can output this amount of damage, physical or magical, this early on to the game. Not even the Wisp Tether was going to be able to save that Dragon Knight.
And it's the hunting of Resolution. He's being involved in more and more now. 8.6k on the net worth. A very, very far way ahead of the Dragon Knight, who's now just actually going in for more of a defensive item with that BKB as his next item of choice.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. This might have an engagement first, but I think the idea on the Leshrac is a pretty interesting one, because you need this like overwhelming damage to be able to burst down heroes against. I think it's strong versus Luna and then the Underlord in general. Like, you just want to be able to get a quick numbers advantage, I think, against this hero. You just need the incredible amount of offensive power. And what we've seen in the past is like teams tried like maybe an Ursa or something. You know, a hero that jumps onto one hero, and even if you do have a bit of a heal, it just doesn't matter because he builds up so much damage.
Oh, no tier 2 tower. I think Kaka's dead. Resolution starts with the attack, then leaches him up. U9 tries to get a little bit of space, but Kaka just couldn't regenerate in time. So Resolution on the run, but he still, again, has that Shadow Dance up his sleeve, so he knows he's safe.
One of the big advantages of Leshrac is that he's not kited around like many of those other heroes, because Underlord also has this incredibly annoying ability in Pit of Malice that is able to kite most of these melee heroes that try and make their initiation and get that quick pick. They're just stopped in their tracks by Pit of Malice. Leshrac doesn't have quite the same problem, right? He's more of this like station, like he's just kind of sitting there just outputting a ton of AoE damage. So you kind of have to focus your attention into him. That's not something Underlord's good at, right? He's more good at being able to get this sort of reactionary style. You don't necessarily think of Underlord and Underlord lineups being like the jump in and be able to focus one hero. This is going to be more like this ball that just pushes forward into DC. And DC have poked and prodded and weakened this ball enough that they might be able to still win out in the mid game where NEWBIE should be their strongest.
I also like the fact too, like that Lesh right in the second position, he's got so much farm early on that he has become so tanky. Shadow Demon. Well, KP wants to get the root off, he's able to do so. SD into the tree lines, but SD's got more than enough damage to kill him off. So you can say goodbye to him, but again, Moon forcing the top lane, Resolution and Weeha with the Lightning and now potentially Edict. No fortification available. This tier 2 tower will fall. The trade-off will be the tier 2 tower in mid and NEWBIE. They have the choice again. Do they want to come back on top lane? Moon's brought the creep wave under the tier 3 tower. So if NEWBIE are going to commit this, they've got to commit now. TPs are on the way back for DC. They attack into the tier 3 tower. Weeha's the first one, so let the Lightning start bouncing out. And NEWBIE as 5, they are looking to retreat. Misery and Resolution in through the rear. If I see, they're going to pull them all out at the moment. They're trying to push him out, but no, they grab the head, they grab everybody. They bring them all back safely.
Yeah, they're just thinking, maybe I can get that quick kill on a support before that Dark Rift actually completes. Not a chance, though. KP is now picking up that Hood of Defiance, so a big magic armor upgrade for him on top of the shell that he has. Building into the eventual pipe is really going to slow down DC's burst potential.
Man, if Moon actually did manage to make that play, like if he waited like 1.5 seconds longer on that force stuff, he potentially could have straightened 4 heroes from NEWBIE there.
Yeah, it would have been a very sick play.
Just a little early, but he's already back to pushing in the bottom lane. So NEWBIE again on the hunt. They're looking for kills wherever they can possibly find them. The jump up from SC, do they have the reveal that, okay, no, Bounty Hunter is away.
And that time just bought them Roshan on DC.
Oh boy, and the attack onto the tier 3 tower. DC's getting so much on this map, on all prongs. Moon's already brought that tower down by a quarter of its life. They force a TP out, but it's a fight that's been initiated by DC. They find KP, Kaka, there's no relocate, they just hold him there and try and tank through it all, but they can't do it. The root's up, Faith able to TP out. Moon still just chipping away.
He's already brought a tower down to half as well.
Yep.
This is one of my favorite things about Sand King because he instant pop creeps wave. He hits one melee creep, he burrows through, hits the range creep, and the whole entire thing explodes. So he's able to sit in these side lanes and just rapidly push out the wave faster than anyone of NEWBIE can actually deal with it. So their 5-man progress is just being constantly split pushed by Sand King, as well as the Leshrac, who's able to clear through waves really quickly too.
This DK getting stunned up. He's just happy that Slark isn't there yet with the Silver Edge to remove his 4 points up in Dragon Blood. The only thing that really keeps him alive in these fights.
Very unique opportunity they found in Roshan. Big part of it was the double damage that Resolution had, but also magic damage is a bit better against Roshan than it used to be. So the Leshrac actually proves to be a better force when it comes to taking Roshan, something that NEWBIE probably didn't take account for.
Resolution, still on top lane. Goodbye, KP. It was really nice knowing you, but you've already been broken up, or maybe support's coming over. Resolution still has the Shadow Dance available. No teammates behind him, and yep, they relocate up. Let SC get the stun off Resolution. They need the kill. Follow the little puff of smoke running up the north lane. Resolution's got the space. Misery's coming in from behind, but Resolution is already gone. A quick track up and look to your bottom lane.
Yep, every single time, Broodmander.
Oh, they want to fight. Underlord trying to get out. That won't be successful. Resolution by Will 9 turning on the ultimate. He didn't get anything out of that. Now the rest of DC, they know there's no big ulti. Moon, the Burrow Strike was available. He thought about it. He really did.
Then he just is like, nope, that's not what I need to do. That would be a throwing move. He's been playing incredibly well this whole entire game. He's opened up so many situations for the rest of DC. He just needs to keep it a little bit cool and calm.
There's the stun. Disruption going to help save him. Leshrac is pushing on the bottom lane. You've got Slark pushing on the top and the rest of DC knocking on the mid.
This lineup is just running NEWBIE all over the map, and their 5-man just ball forward, never got any ground running.
As you said, this new patch 7.00, it brings a whole new era of Dota, and DC, they have found a nice little sweet spot.
That Shrine gonna go down in the bottom lane already. DC
22 minutes in.
Control.
They can just rotate up and do the same to the second shrine. That's a huge injection of money, which is getting bigger and bigger. 15,000 is the advance for DC on the net worth, and then we're rapidly approaching the 20k in the experience.
The Silver Edge on Resolute. I mean, this is the thing. Digital Chaos, they look good for late game as well. It's not like NEWBIE are going to be like, okay, second part of our game plan is just going to be this carry Luna, because Slark and I think Leshrac is actually going to be pretty good going into the late game. Not to mention just the general movement, it seems like, is going to be an issue for NEWBIE. Even if they can win fights, they're still going to be run over the map no matter what. So they're going to have to find a lot of farm on this Luna, and they're going to have to use these relocates pretty efficiently. They're going to have to try and push out some side lanes while still being able to be a part of the team fights that DC is going to force on you. But that leaves you really susceptible to the clean initiation that Sand King brings.
Thanks to that Observer Ward, this place safely. Only one hero was coming over. Resolution pounces. That's a little too late. It was Moon who was the one visible running down to the bottom lane under the Observer Ward, and that's the reason why into the trees and TP away.
This is a pretty cool choice by Moon Meander. Most of the time we've seen Sand Kings, they go for this max mobility build, Blink Dagger, Force Staff, and then into the Yule Scepter. Yule Scepter has been a pretty value item for a lot of Sand Kings, slight increase in movement speed. The disjoint of the Yule Scepter has been really valuable as well, and it in general just kind of buys you time for you to be able to blink or force again, maybe even Burrow Strike. So that's been really valuable, but the Lincoln Sphere here, if you look at this, the Dragonite Stun has been very clearly the big ability that NEWBIE have to be able to lock down Digital Chaos. With this Lincoln's, he can push even more fearlessly into NEWBIE's side of the map.
Yep. And SC bought the Blink Dagger just so that stun was a lot more effective. Resolution, he found U9, the quick pound forward, a quick stun, means he can't even lose the B-bomb from this one. Weehaul will arrive, but Resolution's already got it in the bag. A celebratory Moon Epicenter on the side. I was looking for the second hero, but either way, the Luna is now down for 33 seconds with no buyback.
NEWBIE, I think we're so set on the Slark pouncing onto the Wisp that Kaka made this play where he goes for like the tether on the creeps to try and position himself what he thinks is an invis Slark that's on him, and TP's out, but Slark is just locked onto the Luna the whole entire time. If Kaka hadn't gone for that tricksy play and he just, stayed there, maybe he could have gotten the relocate save onto the Luna and sacrificed himself.
But it doesn't happen, and now DC looking in towards the mid. The Dragon Form's already been triggered. It's got a couple of seconds left on a bottom pane is where Moon's initiating. The track just keeps building. So DC have the nice vision they need, but they're not going to force the issue yet. We're still looking towards finishing that BKB before they go high ground.
Yeah.
There's no reason for DC to risk anything. Roshan potentially spawns up in just over 2 minutes. Just wait and keep the status quo.
You've got some really strong pickups that are going to be coming in soon. The Abyssal Blade and DKB, they change the nature of team fights for Digital Chaos, and I think it's an absolute must. They cannot go high ground. High ground is still very difficult to push into. The multitude of shrines, they also have extremely good sustain. Shrines are particularly strong with some of these sustained heroes. Medusa, we saw the way it worked with her because of the health mana interaction. Wisp has a similar situation from a support location, right? So they need to be careful with their high ground pushes. They gained super early control of the whole entire map. They don't need to progress into high ground, I would say, until maybe second Aegis, when they've got the BKB. There is really no rush. Like, they can even wait until they just get like the right pick off.
The Shark attack. And Fate devoured by the jaws of Resolution. They had an Observer Ward up on the hill, but then again, so did DC. They didn't really see much. It was just Resolution feeling confident enough to walk anywhere on the map. And SC, he actually goes into the Dragon Form. You got a quick tether down, but the Lincoln Sphere triggers on Moon. That's exactly what we're talking about. The blink into, well, whatever it was to try and cancel it. Looks like he didn't actually commit the Dragon Tail.
And I think he really thought they were going to make that initiation onto the Wisp relocate back. But all DC really attempted, they just tried to poke at it with a split earth, kept their distance for the most part. Sheep is going to be the next item for Weehaw. A big armor upgrade is necessary for him. He's dealt with the magic by picking up the BKB. If he can get this armor item, the Leshrac becomes not unkillable, but he's going to be close to, he's going to survive through every team fight most likely for the full duration of his BKB, and that's obviously means a lot of magic damage output.
Resolution's got more control. He finished an Abyssal Blade at 27 minutes into this game.
Oh yeah.
The BKB, like U9 is going to be like, oh, maybe now I can actually have an uninterrupted fight. But he already had the bashes coming in from the start previously. Now you got that proper stun.
That's interesting. Resolution is quick buy actually has Butterfly over The big stat item has traditionally been the item choice of Slarks as they progress into the game, but actually opting for higher agility and evasion now. We'll see if he actually commits to that quick buy though.
Might just be something he's got in his head as a build and say, nope. Team decision later on. All NEWBIE can do is just wait while they continue to lose ground. Golden experience slipped the way of Digital Chaos.
Yeah, they don't really have good options to push out every single time. I mean, they need to, if they're not using smokes to be able to push out and gain control of the game, then they're gonna have to buy gem, right? And then if they lose that gem, they're just stuck inside their base every single time they move out.
Boon, he's in close, he just blinked over, but he'll force up. He's got Burrow Strike in 1 second time, so he breaks the smoke. NEWBIE are trying something. But look at Resolution's position as well. He's running in behind, then they're gonna go straight into the back of the port. At least the 10 will come out. They've got the first kill. 1-for-1 trade-off though, and now here comes Weeha. Blink it in, turn on the pulse, Nova. You've got the control. Maybe it will be. It's still a 2-for-1 trade-off. Resolution finally bashing into KB. He wants to remove this other launch press. He's going to do it. The Epicenter as well from Moon. Weeha took so much of the ultimate, but it still won't matter. DC are so strong right now. There's just nothing NEWBIE can do about this. They may even feel this in the game. That's it. 29 minutes in, and DC will level the series at 2 apiece.
Holy cow, I'm so impressed by DC here. I couldn't see like how this lineup was actually going to be able to stop what was a similar situation we saw in game 3, but they just ran NEWBIE ragged in this game 4, man. They